It's very, very important. These children are, if you could say, the most vulnerable in our society at the moment. These children are born with a disability. Most of them are diagnosed at a very early age, and then parents need to do something. And they have very little choice at the moment, because unfortunately not all private nurseries can cater for the support that these children need. But it starts at the age of 2, when after diagnosis, after letters from doctors, after referrals, and after a board, some children are allotted a slot in the early birds nursery, which is part of St. Martin's. Unfortunately, they only get 2-hour slots a day for the first year, and then when they're 3 years old, they get a 3-hour slot. Early Birds is a fantastic institution. It's fantastic, and it's there. The rewards are there for everybody to see. But there is a huge gap from those 2 hours between 9 and 11, or 1 and 3. For example, what do parents do after 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Parents work, they've got financial commitments, mortgages, etc., and these parents need to have choices that other parents have, sending them to private nurseries.
Well, not every child will qualify to get into early birds, but what do you see as a possible solution to this?
The solution is obviously government needs to implement a strategy now. We cannot wait 2 years, 3 years for the national strategy to actually come into effect. It needs to be done now to be able to support and close the gap of these children, because these children need support. These children have behavioral issues, they've got communication issues, and they cannot attend a school that does not have this 1-to-1 ratio, or a nursery that has a closer 1-to-1 ratio, because other children do not need that ratio. These children need, and for their health and safety, and for their well-being, they need to close that gap now, immediately.
Now, SNAG is calling for the government to support private nurseries so that they can put adequate provisions and safeguarding measures in place to enable them to accept children with special needs. But given the wide variety of disabilities, do you think that's realistic for a small private nursery, or would you see a solution possibly in expanding early birds?
Obviously, I would like early birds to be expanded, to give these children the support that they need throughout the day. That is the ultimate idea. But it is understandable that there's one nursery and there are lots of children. That we accept that. But what we cannot accept is that parents are left at their own device. You cannot expect a parent that has a child with special needs, some of them more severe than others, but every child that goes to early birds nursery has their special needs. And then what do? Government can, for example, incentivize private nurseries in a way that they would be able to employ more staff, or for a 1-to-1 and so on. So there are ways of doing this. It's not up to me to tell governments or any other departments what they should be doing. Ultimately, these children and these parents need a choice. They do not have the same choices as other parents have in Gibraltar, and somebody has to grab the bull by the horns and act now, because there's a generation of children that are going to school now, and these parents are going through a very, very tough time, and the children are experiencing really, really tough times transitioning from early birds to a nursery which is full of children, a lot of very noisy environment. They do not have this 1-to-1, and these children are having meltdowns, are having issues in that particular setting.
And just as a final note, to point out that SNAG is actually offering workshops for parents to help them support their children.
Absolutely. SNAG has embarked in a very heavy, in fact it's been very costly for SNAG, and we're bringing in therapists from the UK, we're bringing local therapists, we're providing workshops for parents, carers, professionals, and even siblings, because we notice that there's a huge gap in Gibraltar for disabled people, for children and carers and parents with children with special needs, and we're trying to put that gap and make it work, and we're trying to give the tools to parents to be able to cope with life, as it were. So we're investing heavily on this, and we hope that people actually take the offer.